it's like doing this is second nature to me, you know. Yeah. So this is our good old test site. Good old test site. So I'm gonna explain to you guys when we first come out. Explain to y'all real quick. Turn my hazard lights on. Make sure I ain't blocking the fire hydrant back here. Alright. Set my brakes, put it in neutral. Alright, so first, when you first come out, as far as doing the maneuvers, she's gonna ask you to do a railroad demonstration. And it is painted on the ground out here on the test site. So you just let her, when you pull up, just let her know, like, set your brakes, put it in neutral, and let her know, like, all right, the first thing I would do is I would be in my far right lane, you know, I'll stop, set my brakes, throw my hazard lights on, and I want to be 15 feet, no more than 50 feet away from the railroad crossing. Why? Because, you know, once you go up on a railroad crossing, it's like a little hill. So you don't want to be up on the hill, you don't want to be too close to it, because, you know, if you're on the hill, you might roll back, there's cars behind you. And if you close, you know, debris flies off the train. So you don't want nothing to hit you, you know, because you kind of level with that train. So you want to be 15 feet, no more than 50 feet away from the railroad crossing. In your farthest right lane, hazard lights on, of course in neutral, and your brakes set. Once the train clears, you go across, you still want to keep the hazard lights on. And once your trailer clears the tracks, then you're good to turn your hazard lights off. So make your left turn, come out over here, park. You don't want to park in front of the fire hydrant because it's two over here. You don't want to park neither in front of them because, you know, that's safety. So you're going to pull over to the right, turn your hazard lights on, put in neutral, set your brakes. She's going to say, okay, explain for me an emergency stop demonstration. You're gonna let her know I would grab my 3 DOT reflector triangles that are up under my bunk. I wanna put one 10 feet in front of my bumper, another one 10 feet behind my DOT bar on my trailer, and then another one 100 feet behind that one, you know. So then she's gonna say, okay, good, proceed. Then once you are about to move, turn your lights off, of course, you know, release your brakes, put it back in drive. You always wanna turn your left turn signal on to make sure the cars behind you know that you're merging off. You know, you're not jumping into your left lane, but you're just doing that to make sure cars know that you're being safe. So we can go ahead and proceed and hit the route. Turn these bad boys off. Push in my brakes. Drive. Now I'm gonna turn my left turn signal on, make sure cars behind me know that I'm moving. Good to go. Right. Right turn. So I'm gonna turn my signal light on early, just to let the examiner know I'm being safe. You know, I'm turning on. Of course, she'll tell you to turn, so, you know, just don't do anything without her telling you. So I'm gonna get a little bit on this white line. That way my tandem tires can clear this curve. So I'm gonna get close to this line, come to a complete stop at the thick white line. Never go past that. You always want to look from left to right, make sure you know oncoming traffic. And whenever it's safe to go, I'm gonna get on out there. All right, everybody's turning. Make sure. And you want to look at everybody else's turn signals too, because sometimes, see, people, they was in the turning lane, now they in the outer lane. So, you know, you just want to make sure you're looking at everything. So as far as my first right turn, I'm gonna get out here and get kind of by the yellow line. Once I'm kind of by the yellow line, I'm gonna start to turn, use up some of the space over here. Now I'm looking at my tandem tires to make sure that I clear the curve. I'm good. I'm gonna jump back into my lane, make sure I'm straight. All right, no curve check. So now our speed limit is 35. You're good to do 35. You know, don't do nothing more, nothing less. Do 35. You know, 33 is a safe speed. You know, 35 I say is for cars, but you can do 33. So now I want to ride close up on my yellow line to make sure my trailer tandem tires don't hit the curve over here. So I'm riding over this yellow line just so I know I got space. Riding, looking at my mirrors, and she's gonna be looking at everything too. Like she looking at the curve to make sure you don't hit it. She looking at you to make sure you looking at everything. Just being safe. So my next turn is gonna be to the left. So now I'm gonna start to jump over, jump into the middle. That way my truck and trailer can be fully inside the lane. Come to a complete stop. Make sure I'm right at the thick white line. Now, if you can't see, because it is a sign right here, we can't fully see oncoming traffic. That good. So I would ask her, is it okay if I pull up a little bit to see oncoming traffic? And she's gonna say yes, okay. So I'm gonna pull up a little bit so I can see my oncoming traffic. She's waiting for me to turn. So boom, look right there. Here come two cars. I didn't see them before that sign. So I'm gonna pull up a little bit, come to another complete stop, make sure I'm good. So she's good, she's letting me go. I'm gonna get on out here, make my left turn. Nice and smooth. Go ahead and wave at my people because she let me go. She was being, you know, being courteous. We do have courteous drivers out here. Everybody ain't a-holes, but we do got a lot of a-holes out here. So this curve right here is 25 miles an hour. It's a deep curve. So once we get right here, I want to be on the high side of the curve. I never want to be just dead center because my trailer is going to fall into this lane. So I want to be on the high side of the curve. You know, I want to get close, and I'm looking at my nose mirror to see how far I'm away from the curve. So I can see my curve, so I know I'm not going to hit it. So I know I'm good. I'm looking over here, I'm good. And once my curve is over, now I can get in the middle. Now I'm riding the middle. Our speed limit is 35. I would recommend you do 33. She might say 35 is for regular cars. We're in a commercial vehicle. So again, I'm gonna get over, get close to my curve, looking at my trailer tandems, make sure I'm good. All right, fall back into my middle lane. Our speed limit is 35, so I'm gonna keep it at about 33. My hands are steady on the wheel, you know, just keeping it nice and smooth. Again, now I'm on the low side of my curve, so I'm gonna get a little closer to my yellow lines to make sure my trailer doesn't hit the curve over here. Boom. So now our lane is straight, so now I'm good to ride in the middle lane, you know, center. And when it's industrial buildings like these, you always want to take your time because DOT is sitting everywhere. It's a lot of warehouses, a lot of docking and stuff over here, so DOT can be anywhere. So if you speed, they're gonna get you. So just make sure you're taking your time as far as riding up in, you know, industrial areas and stuff like that. Yeah. Man, that C8 is nice. So this turn up here is kind of tricky by the gas station. So we want to kind of ride this lane kind of like over some and kind of come back over. So I'm gonna kind of dip out a little bit by this little pothole and dip back in because I don't want my tandem tires to hit the curve over here. So I'm gonna dip back in a little bit, turn my turn signal on. Of course, I can turn red in a regular car, but we're in a commercial vehicle, so we just being safe. I'm just waiting for my light to turn green and I'm gonna make my turn. So, because she might dock you if you turn, you know, on the red light, even though in the regular car we do have the right of way, but since we're in a commercial vehicle, I'm just wait for it to turn green. It's green now. I'm gonna get on out here. So on this turn, I gotta kind of use my other lane to make sure that I get inside my lane fully. So I'm gonna get over, use a little bit of that lane, kind of drag it a little bit, make sure I'm good. Boom. So now we about to jump on the highway, turn my turn signal on, make sure I'm good. Turn yellow on me. So again, even though I do have the right of way, I'm gonna wait for it to turn green. This car's behind me. I don't want to get points on my test, so I'm just being safe. Even though in the regular car I could go, but I'm being safe. Wait for my light to turn green, and I'm gonna go. Even though it is cars behind me, they might start honking at me, but oh well. I'm just being safe. My light turned green, so now I'm gonna go out some. Do the same thing. Use some of this lane. Now they can either jump over, because this is a merging lane onto the highway. They can jump over and go past me like what they doing now and get on the highway. I'm just being safe. That's all. Now upon approaching the highway, you have a mile stretch to get over onto the highway. So I'm gonna turn my turn signal on. I got a mile stretch, so I'm being safe. I want to make sure that the traffic is clear. You want to be at least 50 to 55 miles an hour before merging over to the highway, because everybody else is doing, 65, 70 miles. So you got to be up to their speed to actually get over. So I'm at 45 right now. I'm almost at 50. My lane is clear. All right, I'm at 50 miles. So now I'm about to go ahead and get over. Speed limit is 65. So I'm fully inside my lane. I'm gonna turn my turn signal off. I'm getting up to 65 miles an hour. So once you're on the highway, just make sure your head is on the swivel. Make sure you're looking at everything, oncoming traffic. Because, people don't pay attention. People text and drive, all the time. So upon approaching this bridge, she's gonna ask you the height requirement of this bridge. And you're gonna tell her that there isn't one, because there's no sign posted. So the height of this truck is 13 feet, 6 inches. Anything under that, you can't go up under. You're gonna peel this thing like a drop top. So she's gonna ask you, well, what's the height requirement of this bridge? And you just let her know there isn't one. I'm safe to go up under because there's nothing posted. So you good to go up under. But anything under 13 feet, 6 inches, do not go up under. You're either gonna get stuck, or you're gonna peel everything back like a can opener. You don't want that. It's gonna be a rough day. So our exit is Douglas. I'm gonna turn it on early. I'm gonna slow down to 40 because we have to. The speed limit on the exit ramp is 40. And she might ask you these questions like, hey, what was the speed limit on that exit back there? She's gonna ask you somewhere up here, so you gotta be paying attention to everything. Have to. Gotta be paying attention, because she's gonna ask it. So my next turn should be to the left. So again, I'm gonna be in my outer lane, so that way I can clear my turn. So again, I'm gonna go up straight a little bit. I'm gonna make my turn right now, kind of at these yellow lines. Watching my tandem tires, making sure I'm good. Fall right into my lane. So I'm gonna just go slow. If it turns yellow, I'm gonna stop, because yellow means stop. All right, so we good to merge across. Oh, look, it turned yellow on me, but I'm already out here, so it don't matter. So ahead of us, our light is red, so I'm gonna just, slow down. Keep my space. Now, as far as what I like to do, as far as knowing how to keep my distance, I look at the slash lines, that are on the road. So I look at 1, 2, 3, about 3.5 right here, that's where I'm gonna stop, just for emergency purposes. And this is what you wanna do in your test to keep the space, keep your distance. Just always count 1, 2, 3. And we right here. So that's like 3 car lengths basically. So that's how I kind of look at it. Just in case if I need to get out or something happens and I need to, do something, I got room to do it. Since we around more cars, you got to be cautious because people will try to jump out when they're not supposed to. You got to be cautious because anything can happen. And more than likely, they'll put the blame on you because you're the truck driver, you're in a commercial vehicle. So you got to watch everything. You can't be speeding, through these, the residential areas, because stuff will fall back on you, So just take your time. You never want to be in a rush driving, especially driving a truck. So again, we don't know how long this light been green. I'm slowing up a little bit. All right, it's cool. And change on me. So our next turn is gonna be at the next light. So I'm gonna go ahead and get over into my left lane. When everything is clear and safe, I'm gonna jump over. It's good. So I'm gonna keep my turn signal on because I'm making my left turn here. So as far as this left turn, I want to jump in like where it opens at right now. That way my tandems don't hit that curb. So I'm making sure that I'm fully inside the lane. Good. Our light is yellow, so I do have the right of way. But I'm gonna stop because there's cars coming over this hill and I want to make sure I got enough time to actually make my turn. I got the space. My light is still yellow. I'm gonna go ahead and get out there while it's yellow. I'm staying inside my lane, fall into my lane, staying inside, watching my tandems. I'm good. So again, our speed limit is 35, but since this is a school zone, but it's 35, so you can ask her, hey, is it okay? I know this is a school zone, the speed limit 35. Is it okay if I do 35? Just ask questions, Because she might tell you do 25, because it's school right here. So just always just be aware of what you're doing, as far as taking your test and doing your driving, Ain't no stupid question, Ask as many questions as possible, You're trying to get your license, And you want to make sure that she know that you know what you're doing. You want to make sure that, hey, he's been a smart driver, So of course, right here we got apartments. It's residential. People walking their dogs, walking, their kids. So you always just want to be safe coming up in this area right here. You don't want to be speeding because you don't want nobody to run out. You hit them, and it's gonna be a bad day. So again, I'm riding my high side of my curve to make sure that my trailer doesn't fall inside this lane. And again, I'm gonna ride my low side to make sure my trailer doesn't hit this side of this curb. So, see, we got people walking out, older lady, we being safe, always be safe. Again, we got Walmart up here, bunch of cars, bunch of people, Our light is green. So our next turn is gonna be left at the light, so I'll make sure my trailer is fully inside, my lane. I ain't out in the intersection. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn my signal light on now. That way the cars behind me know that I need to get over. So I'm gonna slow up a little bit so they can go. Come on. Keep my left turn signal on because I need to make a left turn So right here, now say for instance, if my trailer wasn't fully inside the lane, you would ask her, okay, is it okay if I pull up a little more to get my trailer inside the lane? You know, because we know we need to use our distance, and she'll either say yes or no. You know, because we don't want our trailer poking out, because we don't want to block the lane. We want to make sure that we are fully inside the lane, because this is a turning lane. You know, so we don't want no confusion or nothing like that. So now the light is yellow. We're just waiting for traffic. Me, I like to wait until it turns green because cars are still coming. So it's green. Now I know I got full control over my lane. I know ain't no cars gonna come, ain't nobody gonna come, so I'm just staying in my lane, making my turn. Making sure everything good. I'm always looking again, I'm always looking. Now we approaching the red light, slowing down. Oh, it just turned green, so good to keep my speed. Our speed limit is 45. I always look at these speed limit. It's 45. Again, we got another red light approaching us, so I'm gonna start to slow down. You know, it takes a full football field for this truck to come to a complete stop, like as far as slowing down. So that's a long time, you know, especially if it's wet or anything, you gotta stop early. You know, it take a full football field to come to a complete stop. You can't just stop and you think you're about to stop like a regular car. No, it don't work like that. You know, these are air ride trucks. You know, so it works off air, you know. Versus in a regular car, you got brake fluid, you know, this is air. So. Our next turn is we're gonna exit off on Coburn. So once I get by my sign, I'm gonna, you know, turn my turn signal on. That way cars behind me know that I'm about to get off and make my turn. So again, the exit ramp is 35. You know, you wanna make sure you at 35 upon exiting. Again, I'm on my low side of my curve to ensure I don't hit no cars or hit the curb. And our next turn is gonna be to the left. Turn my left turn signal on. Again, I'm gonna get up on the high side of my curve because I never wanna be fully inside in the center lane. I wanna be on the high side of my curve so that way I have space. Come to a complete stop at the thick white line. And just wait. Just being patient, that's all. The car behind me got their space, I got my space, so my light is green, so I'm gonna make my turn. So again, I'm gonna go out kind of straight, slanted a little bit, then I'm gonna start making my turn to my lane. I'm watching my tandem tires, my nose mirror, I'm watching my tandems, watching everything behind me to make sure I'm good. Now she might ask you the weight requirement going across this bridge. Remember, it's 60 tons if she asks you that. But you got a bridge right here, then you got a bridge right here. So if she asks you the weight requirement, it's 60 tons. So, as far as we about to make our right turn back into the by the DMV. So we want to turn our turn signal on early. So this is legal to turn our turn signal on going through the intersection. Normally it's not, but since our turn is right here, it's legal to have our turn signal on because we're making the right turn. I'm gonna jump into my lane right now, making sure that I'm good. Now I want to come up here and kind of come to a complete stop and make sure cars that are coming to make sure that I'm good to make my turn because I gotta use this lane a little bit. So I'm gonna come right here by my yellow line and I'm gonna use some of this lane. I'm watching my tandem tires to make sure I don't hit the curb and I'm gonna slide right in. Perfect. So again, I'm riding the low side of my curve. Make sure my trailer don't hit the curve. Again, I'm gonna ride the high side of my curve to make sure my trailer doesn't fall over into the lane. Get over a little bit. Watching everything behind me. So we back at home base. You know, this where it happens at. You know, that's where it happens. I'm making my left turn, jump into my box, jump in. I'm gonna come to a somewhat of a complete stop to make sure I got room, make sure ain't no cars are coming. I'm gonna make my left turn. Use some of this space, dip in. Dip in, make sure my trailer falls in. And then we would pull back up into the lot and hey, you got your CDL after that. So that would be the end of the route. So, hey. You know, always make sure your mirrors is adjusted towards you so you can always see down both sides of the trailer, you know. I just always want to make sure everything is good before you actually pull out in the street. You know, just make sure everything is good. Got no windshield wiper fluid. So always checking your surroundings. Always had a seatbelt on. And as far as entering and out in traffic, you always want to make sure that the lane is clear on both sides. That way, you know you got enough space to get out there. Because I got to use both lanes when I pull out in the traffic. So I'm just, you know, making sure everything good. You know, it's all about patience, you know, and being safe. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it. Use some of my lane over here. Always watching my mirrors, watching my tandems to make sure I'm good. I ain't hitting no curves or nothing. Just sit back and relax and enjoy the ride. Make sure my mirrors is good. Driving, you know, I always want to look at my nose mirrors to make sure I'm inside the lane, you know, because I can see my line over here and I can see my line over here. It's telling me that I'm good, I'm inside my lane. I'm always looking out my mirrors, you know, for stuff behind me. And as far as approaching a green light that's been green for a while, I want to kind of slow up because I don't know how long it's been green. You know, and once it turns yellow, that means I'm gonna stop. You know, so I'm good right there. We're just being safe, you know, that's all, you know. I ain't trying to bogart traffic, you know, I'm just letting the truck and the trailer work for me, you know. You know, and for new drivers, you always want to, you know, 10 and 2, keep y'all hands 10 and 2. You know, I got a little bit of experience, so I drive with one hand, but, you know, for new drivers, 10 and 2. You know, just make sure you got both hands on the wheel. You know, just be relaxed. You know, don't be nervous. You know, don't be tensed up. None of that. As far as me turning my turn signals on, I always turn my turn signal on early. That way people behind me know that I'm turning. And when I'm in a double left lane, I'm always in my outer lane. Because you never want to be on the inside because you do not have enough space to make your turn. You always want to be on the outside because I have to go straight a little bit, then make my turn so my trailer can fall into the lane. You know, versus me being on the inside, then it'll be a bad day. You know, we don't want no accidents. We don't want nothing. No type of mishaps. So as far as me going out on this lane, I'm gonna go straight a little bit, go straight, then make my turn. So I wanna fall right into this lane. Keep it nice and wide, and just go into my lane. Watching my tandems, making sure everything following me, I'm good. just keep it nice and steady inside the lane. You're gonna see me turning around and looking a lot, you know, because I'm just making sure traffic that's coming up on the side of me, they not speeding, you know, upon me or trying to swerve into me, you know, stuff like that. You know. My speed limit 40, so by law I can do 45. So just keep it nice and smooth. My speed limit done changed to 55, so I can, you know, go a little faster. Weight requirement over bridge is always 60 tons, you know. It's always 60 tons. So we are good to cross. When you're driving, you want to always pay attention to your road signs. You know, you want to look ahead. You know, you always want to look ahead to make sure any emergency or any traffic or anything that's going on, you always want to be able to look ahead and see what's going on. You know, especially on the highway, you know, because there's a lot of things on the highway, you know, accidents, stuff like that. So you always want to make sure you look ahead, you know, and just be cautious. And as far as right now, like, I'm on the low side of a curve. So like basically I'm getting a little close right here to these slash lines, so my trailer don't fall in over here, you know, and hit the curb or whatever. You know, you got a high side of a curve, you got a low side of a curve. You know, see people like this, I'm gonna jump out in front of you. You got people that do not care. They don't care about their life. They don't care about truck drivers, none of that. You know, they'll just jump out here and look at you crazy. So now I'm about to approach the highway, so I want to turn my turn signal on early. I'm about to get on. So as far as me getting on the highway, it's a way that I'm getting on the highway. I don't want to just be directly in the center. I want to be close to this line right here. That way my trailer don't hit no poles or nothing, or the curb or anything. So just making sure everybody good. Making sure ain't nobody turning while I'm turning. All right, they turning. So I'm good to jump on. Watching my tandems in the back of my trailer. Make sure I'm following inside the lane. All right. As far as me getting on the highway, merging on, I'm just looking at traffic behind me to make sure I'm good, because I'm gonna jump over. Turn my turn signal on, stay in my lane for a little bit. When it's clear, when it's safe, I'll jump over. All right, I got enough room, it's safe, I'm gonna go and get over. I'm not gonna turn my signal light off until I'm fully inside the lane. You know, I'm fully inside, I can turn my signal light off. You know, you don't wanna jump in the lane, boom, turn it off, because your trailer still has to get inside the lane. So right now I'm going towards Lee Summit, so I'm gonna turn my signal light on. I'm always gonna be on my outside lane. You know, just making sure that I'm good. Good. Now, as far as me handling the trailer, I'm getting on this side. Now I'm about to switch over and get on this side. This will be my high side of my curve. That way I know I got space over here. My trailer's not falling over into the curve or nothing. So I'm just riding this side of my curve, making sure I'm good. I'm just looking at everybody just, you know, behind me, making sure traffic good, making sure ain't nobody doing nothing crazy. Now I see traffic coming this way. Now I gotta look over here and make sure everything is good upon getting over, because I'm gonna get in my middle lane. So my middle lane is neutral. You know, you never really want to ride on the right lane unless you just in a 2-lane, you know, highway or whatever. But if it's more than 2 lanes, yeah, ride in your middle lane because it's neutral. That way you ain't gotta worry about nobody jumping over or somebody merging onto the highway, stuff like that, you already good. You ain't got to do nothing extra. So I'm turning my signal light on, make sure, you know, people behind me know that I'm about to get over, jumping into my middle lane, making sure I'm fully inside my lane before I turn my signal light off. I'm good. Just keep it rolling. So like normally when it's like rush hour or a lot of traffic or accidents done happen, we like the first ones to see because we sitting up so high and we can see ahead of us. So if it's an accident or something, like we'll turn on our signal light or hazard lights to let people behind us know that it's a hazard going on. We slowing down traffic, you know, that way everything is good, you know, because as truck drivers, we control the highway, we control the streets, you know. We can slow down traffic or, you know, speed it up, depending on what's going on, you know. So, high side of my curb, I'm just making sure my trailer is inside the lane. I'm always looking, you know, you always want to look, make sure you're good. Car, that's what these nose mirrors is for, because you got blind spots. You want to make sure everything is, you know, coming good. And as far as, you know, because you can't see everything. So that's why you got nose mirrors to make sure you can see everything on the side of you coming up. See, I can see that car on my nose mirror, but in my big mirror, I can't really see it. You know, I can't see nothing over there, you know. But in my nose mirror, I can see the car. So it's a lot of stuff you gotta look for as far as driving. You gotta pay attention. Have to pay attention. You gotta keep your head on the swivel, you know. You can't just be tunnel vision, you know, you gotta glance at everything. I say every, you know, 5 seconds, I look at every mirror every 5 seconds. You know, I'm always looking, you know, to make sure everything good. You know. So I'm in my middle lane, you know, everything is good, it's neutral. You know, and plus the truck can only do 68 right now. You know, it's governed at 68, so I can't go no faster than 68 miles per hour. Now, unless I'm fully loaded, then yeah, I can go a little faster because the load is pushing me. But you know, this is just a neutral lane. I ain't got to worry about nobody, you know, cussing me out or flipping me off because I'm going a certain speed. They can just get off from behind me and keep it pushing, you know. Because regular drivers don't know. They do not know. They don't have a clue about being behind this wheel. You know, they don't have a clue. Yeah. Crazy though, as a kid, like we travel so much on the road and I always seen truck drivers like, dang man, what if, you know, what it'd be like if I drove trucks? Like now I'm driving trucks. That's crazy. It's like literally, you know, since a baby, toddler, little kid, I always seen truck drivers. You know, you always wave at them, you know, tell them to honk their horn. You know, that was always cool to me, you know. And I actually got a history of truck drivers in my family. My grandpa, he drove trucks. He started when he was 18, you know, and retired when he was in his late 50s. You know, he drove trucks for a long time down in Alabama. You know, all my family from Alabama. You know, I'm from the country. So I got uncles, cousins. You know, my grandma, she even drove trucks. You know, he taught her how to drive trucks. You know, so it's really in my blood to, you know, to do this for, you know. I've always been a good driver, you know, my whole life, really. Not my whole life, but to my teens, you know. Even as like 9, 10 years old, I always try to drive, you know. I had to use phone books because I was so short, but I made it happen, you know. we are in 2 lanes, so of course I'm gonna stay in my right lane because this is for slower traffic. You know, my left lane, that's for passing, so I don't have the speed enough to really be in my fast lane and try to pass cars and do all that because I can't go fast enough. So I'm gonna just stay in my lane, stay in my right lane where it's slow. Because again, I can only do a certain amount of speed. You know, I'm governor at 68 miles an hour. I can't do nothing faster than that. So right now we got a kind of a deep curve. So I'm gonna get up on my high side and make sure my trailer don't fall into the lane over here. So I'm gonna ride this kind of high, you know, make sure I'm good. All right, get over, y'all. Now my exit is approaching me, so I'm gonna turn my turn signal on early. That way cars behind me know that I'm about to get off, and these cars over here know that I'm about to exit off. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn my signal light on. I can't cross over right here because that's illegal. I gotta wait until I'm on these little slash lines to get over. So I'm gonna go ahead and get over, safe, jump over to my lane. Fully inside, turn my signal light off. Good. Start to slow down some. I know that exit ramp is 40 miles, so I want to be at 40 when I exit off. You know, you never want to be speeding, exiting off these, you know, off the highway. You know, I want to be at 40 miles, you know, making sure I'm good. So again, I'm doing a double left turn, so I want to be on my outer lane, making sure I'm, you know, not in my inner lane. I always want to be on the outside. As far as my space, I want to keep space, you know, behind these cars. I want to keep my distance. In case of emergency, in case I got to get out and go or do something, you know. You always want to have your foot pressed firmly on the brake pedal. You never want to have it loose or nothing like that because these trucks will roll back, you know, will roll back because it's air ride, you know. And as far as me getting my foot back on the gas pedal, I just want to ease back on the pedal. So, the pedal and just slowly just pull up. Now again, I'm gonna go straight a little bit, make my turn so I can fall inside the lane. Take my time, just make sure everything good. I ain't rushing or nothing. So remember what I said, when the light turned yellow, I stop. You know, it's fully red, come to a complete stop. Just let everything go, you know. We ain't in no rush. This ain't the rushing game. This is the play it smooth and take your time game, you know. Once I go through the intersection, I'll turn my light on because I'm about to make a right turn. Now, as far as me making right turns, what I like to do is I like to be up on this white line. That way I know I got space to clear this curve right here, so I'm gonna get a little close. Shit, my light turned yellow, so that means stop. Oh, my light is green, so I'm good to go. Now I'm gonna go out straight a little bit. I'm not worrying about the cars in front of me. I'm watching my tandems, making sure everything is good. I'm watching what my trailer is doing. I'm clearing my curve. Drag it straight a little bit. Lane. So my next turn is gonna be to the left, so I wanna make sure these cars are gonna go so I can get over. There's certain things I can't do is me driving in my personal car, because the ticket will still be the same because I got a CDL license, you know.
All right, we're back now. We're good.
Yep. So I'm gonna wrap around and come back around. So that way I can be facing towards the right way.
So this is the route I take?
Yeah, this is part of it. So I'm gonna wrap back around so that way I can come back up this way and do it the right way. Yeah. I ain't been over here in a while. So I'll talk about everything once I come back around.